Hey, what's up you guys? Bloody Jacob here to bring you my weekly review.
Hey, what's up you guys? Bloody Jacob here, meeting my icon, Catherine Isabel here.
Across the streams of hopes and dreams where things are really not. Come along if you can. Come along if you dare.
Have a good one. Cheers, guys.
Side of your mind, but please realize you'll probably be surprised.
There was an idea
to bring together a group of remarkable people.
To see if we could become something more.
So when they needed us, we could fight the battles
that they never could.
What it's like to lose. To feel so desperately that you're right, yet to fail all the same. Dread it. Run from it. Destiny still arrives.
Hey, what's up you guys? Bloody Jacob here to bring you my review of Avengers Infinity War.
Evacuate the city. Engage all defenses. And get this man a shield.
Fun isn't something one considers when balancing the universe. But this does put a smile on my face. Who the hell are you guys?
So yeah, this movie's been anticipated for, a little bit of time. Only the past 10 years or so. Maybe take a little bit off of that, but ever since Thanos was teased, and then after Chris and we see him turn, smile and everything like that, this is what, the MCU, the Marvel Cinematic Universe, has been building up to. What threats this Force will bring, what threat this villain will bring. Really, this film and, part 2 next year are the culmination of all these Marvel movies we've gotten. So yeah, this is one of the most anticipated films, ever, really. It's already breaking records at the box office. It's, I think it's like the second, highest grossing in terms of early release or something like that now. It passed one of the Star Wars films, I know, which is great. But yeah, I've loved the Marvel movies. There have been, some that I've been a little more lukewarm on. I personally didn't really care that much for Black Panther, and a couple others here and there. But besides that, I overall still enjoy them immensely. I certainly don't think any of them are awful or anything like that. And even before the film started, Marvel and DC, I always loved it ever since I was a little kid. Seeing all this come to life over the past decade and be connected in so many ways, and it's just been a great journey, great process, and I'm very happy to say that Avengers Infinity War is, to me, the very best they've done yet. And yeah, I mean, I think it's the best film of the whole Marvel Cinematic Universe, and therefore one of my very favorite comic book movies of all time, no question about it. I think it completely succeeded in what they're trying to do with it, and it made me want to sit in the theater for 2.5 to 3 more hours just to see the next one. But no, we gotta wait a year. But yeah, I really enjoyed this movie. I loved it. I don't even know where to start. Of course, you guys know the story. Thanos. He's near. He arrives to collect these Infinity Stones, and there's going to be some spoilers in this review. Okay, just a heads up. Even though I'm like one of the latest ones to do a video on it, I did see it a few days ago. I seen it. One of the earliest screenings on Thursday night at my local theater. But I've just been taking the past few days to process it a little bit more. And I've got other things I have to do, that come on during the week and such with shows. But I thought it was good to let my thoughts settle anyway. But yeah, so then it has to do with, of course, the Guardians of the Galaxy in it as well. Them crossing over, uniting to stop this threat. And, that's basically it. It's not like the most complicated in terms of story or plot in the world. It's not, too intricate as far as that goes, I guess. But let me tell you, Thanos, Josh Brolin's Thanos, he is the very best villain the MCU has ever had, bar none, no question about it. I know we've had Loki, and he's been good as well. But I really think Thanos is on a whole other level. I think he's one of the best villains we've seen in any comic book film. I'd even put him up there in the way that some people put up like Heath Ledger's Joker and such. Because Thanos, yeah, he's larger than life, but they really wrote him, brilliantly. Yeah, he's this, big hulking, strong, powerful threat. But at the same time, they really took a lot of care into the character. He has layers to him. He has depth. And how you hear, like, a lot of times the best villains are the ones that think they're the good guy, or the ones that are the heroes of their own story, or they're ones that think they're doing the right thing. Thanos is a prime example of that. He's not just some space dick, just doing shit because he thinks it's, funny, or he wants to inflict pain for the sake of pain. He thinks he's fulfilling, like, this grand purpose, cutting the population in half. Pretty much everywhere he goes, and trying to bring control and order to it all. And at the same time, he has, personal history with, Gamora, Zoe Saldana's character. Pretty much raised her as a daughter, so you get kind of a background. You get a couple flashbacks of that. That give him some emotional depth as well, that they handle really well in this movie. And, the motion capture work with Josh Brolin, especially, the face, you really get to see some acting from him. It's sort of like, Andy Serkis with Caesar. You get to see some real expression and emotion from Thanos that I wasn't completely ready for. And, I love the Marvel movies, but sometimes you don't always feel like our heroes are in real jeopardy, You can enjoy, like, what they fight and stuff like that, but you don't ever think they're really, truly in danger. They're going to be okay no matter what. Here you actually worry, That's another thing this movie did well. It's one of the best things about it. There's a real sense of danger from Thanos. In fact, that's established, pretty early on in the movie. Characters die. And I never felt this sense of urgency and sort of just worry from an MCU movie before. And another one of my favorite general things about it as a whole is that the film, it balances, it has humor, but it balances that with, actual seriousness. It takes a story seriously and has emotion. It balances all that together really, really nicely. I like Thor Ragnarok, but sometimes I do feel like the humor became a bit much. I think it was a bit overdone in that one. It sort of ended up undercutting more dramatic moments I should have been focused on. But here it's a pretty funny movie. But at the same time, they can go right back to it being a real gut punch, or really investing in the characters, and they give that a very appropriate amount of time. So this is probably the best Marvel movie I've seen that can balance its humor and its serious integrity and stuff like that. And we see, like I said, there's gonna be spoilers in this, so just stop watching if you haven't seen the movie yet. You owe it to yourself to see it for yourself first. But yeah, those are some general things on it that I really loved. Another thing is that all the characters get a pretty good amount of time. There's a couple that get undercut a little bit, I think. But overall, I think the Russo brothers and everyone who worked on the movie did a good job of integrating them all into this grand story. So yeah. Anyway, on to spoilers. I'm giving this movie an A, by the way. I think it's the best MCU film, like I said, therefore one of my very favorite comic book movies ever. So yeah, it's getting an A. Just putting that out there now. Putting that out there now. But yeah, anyway, on to spoilers. Okay, so early on, of course, we get the cliffhanger from Thor Ragnarok. We see the ship, and Thanos has pretty much killed everyone. He kills Heimdall, Idris Elba's character. Apparently, he killed only half of them, though. It was kind of confusing, but some people are assuming like Valkyrie and some of the others maybe had escaped or something, and Thanos sort of let them go. I don't know. They didn't really come up by name, so I'm not sure. We could very well see Valkyrie in another Thor movie, or maybe even Infinity War Part 2, who knows. But yeah, either way, we get a really great scene with, Loki. He turns over the Tesseract to Thanos. And I was really happy with what they did with Loki here. They didn't compromise his development from Ragnarok, because one of the best things that Ragnarok did do was actually redeem Loki to a certain extent anyway. And they didn't undo that here or anything. They actually have Loki make an attempt at Thanos' life. Of course he fails, but he did it for his brother. And he stopped him from being executed on the spot as well. But because of that, Thanos ends up just choking out Loki and just basically snapping his neck in a pretty quiet and just very focused and brutal way. And we see Thor, of course, that happened before Thor's eyes, which is upsetting to see. We see the Hulk only a little bit in this movie, which is like one little gripe I have with it, because the Hulk is one of my favorite comic book characters in general, but I feel like they've really undercut him in the MCU movies. Besides some of his bigger moments in like the first Avengers movie, I think they could have given him more to do. But I do think he has a bigger moment coming in the sequel. But he, of course, he attacks Thanos here. But Thanos basically uses that as a demonstration, and he beats the Hulk down. And they basically don't even acknowledge how the Hulk can get stronger the angrier he gets. Even though I know Thanos is supposed to be more powerful, but still, it's like the Hulk gets knocked down, and that's kind of it. He doesn't, get angry or anything. I don't know. But throughout the rest of the movie, we see Banner. He struggles, with the Hulk. He tries to bring him out to help, but the Hulk. Some people say the Hulk's scared, but probably a little bit. I think it's more so the Hulk, sort of being humiliated and sort of ashamed and embarrassed. So I think Part 2 we'll see the Hulk and Banner perhaps come to more of an understanding with each other, and maybe the Hulk will come back stronger and be able to do more against Thanos. I think, but still, I would like more Hulk. But I think my favorite character in the movie by far was Thor. Now, I said the Hulk's my favorite comic book character in general in these films. He is. But in terms of just the film versions on their own, I think Thor has been the most well done, at least for me, or at least he's my favorite. And he definitely goes through the ringer here. He lost his father. Pretty much everyone. He just loses Loki. And unlike Ragnarok, they get Chris Hemsworth a chance to actually show us emotion, show us pain that he's going through. We see that, his humor and sort of his, just the way he tries to, present himself as, just sort of, crumbling a little bit. When he meets the Guardians, we see he has this great conversation with Rocket about everyone he's lost, and he's, trying to smile, but he's, cracking. So Chris Hemsworth actually gets to do some really good acting here. And besides that, Thor's still involved in some pretty funny scenes too. So again, that balance I think was really great here. And they really established Thor as being, along with maybe Doctor Strange, being the only real threat to Thanos. Just in terms of sheer power and what he can do physically and stuff like that. We see Peter Dinklage in this movie, which is nice. I knew he had some kind of role. I don't think anyone knew what it was. He's basically this being that ends up making his new axe called the Stormbreaker. He had to do with other weapons throughout time and history and stuff like that. It leads to a pretty awesome ending, but we'll talk about that in a few minutes. But I really enjoyed Thor in this movie. I thought they really did his story justice. Iron Man as well, Spider-Man, Captain America gets a great entrance. That's another thing I want to talk about as the audience. Probably, like before this, my best theater experience I had was probably the first Avengers, actually. There's some movies where you don't want to hear anyone, talking during the movie. But then there's ones where you like some audience participation or like reactions. It gives you like a positive energy. Like it makes it even bigger when you're watching it. Like I remember the first Avengers when they were all coming together for the first time. There's cheers and there's clapping and everything. It was the same thing here, but with that there's mixed with gasps, and just kind of shocks. But yeah, there's nothing quite like it besides with an Avengers movie. So that was great. Like when Captain America enters, he saves, Vision and Scarlet Witch early on from, the Black Order. The Black Order is pretty cool. Not really anything like, compared to Thanos, but, I feel like they were kind of dealt with a little bit too easily sometimes throughout the movie too. But, visually they looked fine. And that's another thing. Visually the movie is really nice. The environments and stuff like that. Thanos I thought looked really good, again with Josh Brolin. And there's just plenty of jokes and just different moments throughout the movie that I would like to talk about, but, I can't remember every single one of them, and even if I tried, I'd be ranting for about an hour or two. There's really good stuff with, Peter, Spider-Man, and Tony Stark. And there's a moment where you think Iron Man's going to die when they're fighting Thanos, along with, Spider-Man and the Guardians and a couple others, where they try to remove the gauntlet. But of course, Peter Quill, Star-Lord Chris Pratt, snaps because of what happened with Gamora earlier. And what happened with Gamora earlier, I think was one of the very best scenes in the movie. Again, for Thanos, showing his depth here. He had to sacrifice Gamora in order to get to the Soul Stone, which is a very... I didn't actually expect him to kill Gamora. I don't know if she's going to be one of the ones that's brought back or what. I'm kind of with the people that think anyone who died before the snap is dead for good, and anyone who faded away after that is probably going to be brought back or reversed somehow. I'm not sure exactly how it's going to be done, but I think that's the way it is. I think we'll see more of Gamora like in Thanos' head and stuff, like how he's seen her as a little girl again and everything like that. I think it could work like that perhaps. But yeah, when Thanos actually throws Gamora off, I thought it was a really well done moment. And so when they try to get the Infinity Gauntlet off later, they actually get pretty close. Peter and the others almost get it off, but Star-Lord snaps. He starts hitting and sort of lashing out at Thanos. And, of course, that kind of pretty much causes the whole plan to go. Like I said, there's some good moments of humor throughout the movie. Of course, Dave Bautista Drax is, really good here. When Thor first, wakes up, Chris Pratt's a little, insecure with him and Gamora. And before Thor wakes up, you have Bautista saying, to Star-Lord, "You're a dude. He is not. He is a man." And everyone's just sort of like undermining Star-Lord here, and Star-Lord then tries to imitate Thor with trying to do a deeper voice and stuff like that. It's pretty funny. I'm not doing it justice, but like I said, there's a lot of banter and natural humor in the movie that actually works quite well that you expect from films like this, but it still brings such a real threat from Thanos, and they still take the story seriously with plenty of moments to really latch onto as well. I just thought it was a great movie. I could ramble about every little bit of it for so long. It's scary. I love towards the end in the final battle in Wakanda. You have Thor. He comes down with Stormbreaker, and he just he throws it and just like slams into Thanos' chest. Thor had him, and that was such an epic moment. And he sort of starts pushing it into him. Before Thanos says he should have aimed for the head. Then he snaps, and that's when everyone starts fading away to ash, like I said. But you have people like Black Panther and Spider-Man. Spider-Man gets a pretty emotional moment with Tony, saying, I don't want to go, Mr. Stark. That moment I know got to a lot of people. But you have characters like Black Panther and Spidey, that aren't going to be gone for good. But at the same time, like I said, I think anyone who's gone after the snap will be reversed. But anyone before that, like Gamora, Vision, and the others, I think are actually gone for good. There's just so much to talk about. It's very, very difficult because you have like I said, Iron Man, Strange, some of the Guardians, and Spider-Man fighting Thanos on that planet. Strange had only seen about 14 million or so outcomes, and they only win one. And he tells Iron Man it's the only way when he gives over the stone to Thanos. So somehow this path is going to lead to them coming back and defeating Thanos. So we'll see how that works. There's just so much to talk about. I can't really get my head straight on this. But like I said, the action's great. You really invest in the story while still having the signature humor you expect. They really found a great balance here. Much better than Justice League, which again they just tried to force too much humor into that, and then it kind of lost its integrity. But here they really did great. Marvel really knocked it out of the park, and it lived up to the hype, no question about it. Except I'm giving this movie an A. I could talk about it all night. I'm sure I can talk about it until my I don't know. But yeah, feel free to comment below, bring up anything, and we can definitely talk about it. Like there's characters throughout the movie that you think, they probably would be dead. They probably couldn't survive a battle like this, like Black Widow and such. She can't really make it through all this, come on. But it is what it is. Still, a great movie. I think the very best they've ever done. Let me know what you thought. I'd love to talk more about it. Follow me on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Like, subscribe. I'll catch you guys next time. Peace.